Sarah and the girls were on the road all this season, and we've been traveling, Janine. We got a little hungry, so we thought we'd stop by. In Saylorsburg, we stopped by the Hotel of Horror to come in and have ourselves a little finger food.
Oh, I don't mind if I do. Well, anyway, we're with Marlo, and she is one of the owners here, right?
Yes, I am.
And thank you for having us. I know you have a nickname and it has something to do with darkness.
Yes, they call me the Dark Mother.
The Dark Mother.
The Dark Mother, so you must have children.
Many children in this building.
I call her Dark Mother sometimes too.
Me? How dark can we be? Well, I'm excited because I am an adrenaline junkie. And I'm sure a lot of people out there watching are adrenaline junkies. I love roller coasters. I love
fast cars.
Yes, I do like fast cars. See, Janine knows that. And I also love haunted houses. And I heard about your Hotel of Horror and all of your properties here and all of your exhibits being the most frightening. So I'm waiting to be scared to death.
This is supposedly the most frightening, scariest place on the East Coast. How is that so?
Could very well be.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
and I'm like so opposite you because I'm a chicken. And I love roller coasters, but I hate being scared.
Well, look, Janine, you have to be scared because look what was found here on the property, this petrified cat.
And
the mouse, the cat and the mouse. So they came through and they were petrified.
Tom and Jerry did not survive.
They're real cat and mouse, my goodness.
Yeah.
There are so many things that I want to ask you, but the first thing would be, what possessed you to open the Hotel of Horror? Like, what was it? Did you have a dark childhood? Did you always like to be scared by things? Did you watch Alfred Hitchcock?
Scare the crap out of people. That's probably why.
I did not originate the Hotel of Horror. The Hotel of Horror Halloween attraction opened, they figure in 1992 or 1993, by a gentleman who had a love of horror. And over the years, it changed owners twice. And a few years ago, myself and my husband purchased the property and the business, and we are continuing the tradition of scaring people into screams and laughter.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that it doesn't scare me into crying.
Oh, well, Mommy's with you.
To laughter, I'll be on her back.
Your tears won't be the first to fall here.
We're going to get to go through and see the different things that anybody coming here would get to experience. We haven't been through yet, so I'm anticipating to be scared, you know,
yeah, my pants
really
are still dry.
We're going to see a little bit and only show a little bit because we'd like to let the audience be able to come here and experience it themselves. And so the people that you have, or the crew, whatever you might want to call them, who are here, they stay in character and you're a non-touch. Is that correct?
That is correct. We are a no-touch haunt.
Thank God.
All of our characters here are all original. And what I mean by that is we are not a copycat haunt that features maybe icons from Hollywood films. The cast here is a very creative, very dedicated bunch, and they conjure up their own character created out of all different types of special effects makeup. A lot of them sew their own costumes or find pieces throughout the year to incorporate into those costumes. Whatever they can do to non-humanize themselves and submerge you in a reality that you're not used to.
Janine, isn't that neat? I mean, don't you develop
It's neat
a
talking about it, but I'm getting scared and sweaty already.
See, it's so appealing to me. I would love to have that alter ego, just to be able to make yourself into a different person and have this this made-up character. It's just so great, yeah.
And for those watching, people travel 2 hours and they wait in long lines, sometimes up to 3 hours to get in. So this must be a pretty scary place. And I know you work year-round on making the 21 days possible.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a very short actual season of entertaining our guests, but we spend all year preparing the house and preparing the sets to really accommodate those people who are driving a far distance and are waiting in very long lines to see us.
And if they've come once, excuse me, but if they do come once, they could come back year after year after year because you have a different show every year, you were telling us.
We do. We retheme the attraction. There's always a ton of new staging, new upgrades. We attend national conventions every year where we acquire fantastic effects to showcase during the Halloween season.
And you must dream things up, have nightmares about the place, really, because...
Good nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not at a loss for ideas in this building.
So do you like to be scared? And are we allowed to scare the scaries, the scarers?
Well, you cannot touch the actors,
Right.
just as they are not allowed to touch you.
Okay.
That is part of the rules that you will hear upon entering the attraction. Do I like to be scared? No.
Isn't that something?
Prior to being in the haunted house industry, I did not patronize haunted houses.
That's kind of
That is
strange.
unusual.
And is this open to any age, or are there age restraints?
No, we like to say PG-13. We do have parents who bring in children who are smaller. Myself, as a parent, realize that kids have personalities. Every child matures and develops at a different rate. We do not deny that parent the opportunity to enjoy the haunted house with their child, but for an easy rule, PG-13.
And so now one other thing. This particular hotel that you acquired, was it haunted? Is it paranormal? Is there paranormal activity here? Do we have to wait and find out? I mean, what was the big attraction to this
Now I
place?
feel like someone's touching me.
Ooh, touching me, you're touching me.
It's not him. Or her.
I
don't
have
know.
my finger on you.
Okay.
Well,
Watching
there
you.
have been paranormal groups, local and national, who have come through this building, the Lake House Hotel as it was originally called. And the independent groups, some of which have put us into books. You can find us in Haunted Lehigh Valley. They believe that there is paranormal activity. And then the TV shows were actually able to show us the evidence that they acquired during their investigations here. One particular amount of evidence that was recorded you can find through the ghost detectives, and I think it is posted on YouTube. And it was unusual that this piece of equipment that they call a ghost box was able to personally identify me with information that was unknown to anyone else. So it was a bit unnerving. I still remain a skeptic, but I have had experiences here that are questionable, as well as my husband, not to speak on his behalf, but there are things that do occur in this building that
Are
would
they friendly?
constitute. In no way have I ever felt threatened or upset by what we experienced here. I would say they would be more playful than harmful.
All right, let's play.
I guess your marriage is spook-tacular.
Gotta fit
Why,
in those
thank
puns,
you.
you know? That's what we're all about. Well, I think we should finish up talking, take a little break, and when we come back, get ready, because we're gonna scare the pants off for you, and hopefully I'll keep my pants on. Woo. We're at the exhibition Macabre with Samara, and she's here to tell us about all the authentic items that you've collected over the years. Now, most of the time, people go through the haunted house first, and then they come here.
Yeah, usually what they'll do is, because it's a 2-attraction haunted house and then there's the exhibition, they usually do the one haunt first and then kind of take a break, come in here, do the exhibition.
I like the break part.
And then they go do the other haunt. Unfortunately, they think that because there's nothing scary in here, it is a break, but unfortunately they walk out of here twice as scared as if they did the haunt. The reason for that is because everything in here is privately owned. My husband has actually been collecting since well before I was in the picture, probably since 15, maybe 14. It started off with a love of horse-drawn vehicles, and then it grew to a love of the undead, funeral-related, whether it be coffins, embalming fluid, you name it, he pretty much owns it. And in the last couple years, it's grown to medical and asylum.
Well, that seems like kind of strange for some people to think that you want to collect things from the the era where people were killed, because they associate that a lot with the kind of gory or sad or whatever.
Yeah.
But to have that fascination is quite interesting when you come here and you see some of the things that are here and the interest, to have that passion to collect these. Why don't you point out some of the things that you have here?
Well, some of the things he has is actually right behind me is a genuine early 1900s, late 1800s embalming bed.
Oh, gee.
It is genuine. It's made out of bamboo, so it's very fragile. But pretty much the way it worked was there was no funeral homes in the 1800s. They didn't come around till about the mid 1920s-ish era. So what happened was the undertaker came to your home when you passed away and pretty much set up a bed exactly like this and performed the process of getting you ready for your funeral, which would be exactly the day after you passed away. Everything occurred within a 3-day process because, again, there was no refrigeration.
Is that why they call it a funeral parlor? Did they set people up like right in their parlors?
Right in your living room is where the viewing would take place. But pretty much what happened was if you passed away in the afternoon, the undertaker would work all night prepping your body, setting up the bed. He would first remove 2 jars, as in the back here, of your blood. And then from there he would move on to the embalming process of pumping you full of formaldehyde. It's a lot more technical today. Back then everything was rush. So when people said people twitched, the dead moved, they literally moved because not enough of your blood was drained. So it counteracted with the embalming fluid, which caused you occasional hand to jerk forward or a leg to kick out. Who knew what would happen?
A little muscle reflex there, like Janine's having a little spasm behind us.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, there's even a
see you
sign
later.
behind us from the Trexler Home for Funerals.
Yes, that is a real sign from an actual funeral home that's no longer in existence today. Again, you name it, my husband probably owns it. If it's not displayed here, he has it in one of his 3 storage units.
And he has a casket as well, right?
He has actually several caskets. The metal one right here, this white one, is actually a child's coffin. This one is later, about 1930s, 1950s, right in there. Yes, it does sound very morbid, I know, but that is how it is. But they also range in style from you have your rounded bottom with the viewing window to your toe pitch, which is your original coffins. Now, most people think that this item here in the corner is a coffin. It is actually not a coffin.
It's a mummy for a mummy, no? It looks like it's for like a mummy.
Actually, it's a body carrier. Now, they used a wicker basket pretty much to transport the body from once funeral homes came in. That's what they would transfer the body in because they believed that wicker kept the bodies cold. Again, there's no refrigeration, so they're going to do whatever they can to keep the body from decaying as fast as possible.
And how about the hook? What's the hook all about?
That hook is actually out of a butcher shop. You go to a butcher slaughterhouse and you would find several of those on a rail like that from one end of the slaughterhouse to the next, and there would be animals hanging on them being sent from one end to the other. They also use that in the drying process if they're planning on making, say, jerky or whatever, or for smoking. They would hang the animals on that, and off you go.
I mentioned Lizzie Borden before with the axe, and we all know about the story and the little song that goes along with it. Lizzie Borden
Took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Yes.
Oh my God, talk about in cold blood. I mean, look at this.
Well, that's the thing with the nursery rhyme. It actually is far from the truth. Lizzie Borden actually only gave her stepmother 9 and her father 11.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's all it was. So, yes, there is an axe here that is associated with the Borden murders. Now, again, the only thing that is questionable about that is that the actual axe was never genuinely found.
So we don't know about that.
We don't know
She threw
if
it down the well.
It's hard to say. The question is also, did she do it or did she? I say she did. I say she did it naked. That's my personal opinion. That's why her clothes were not bloody.
Right, that's how the movie portrayed it, and that was a very good way to get away with murder.
So yeah, that's probably the only thing within his collection that is it or is it not? But yeah, everything again in here is genuine.
Now, usually they come after, like we said, in between the tours of the Hotel of Horror. If anyone wants information, they could certainly get it through the website.
Through the website, yep, hotelofhorror.com, and he's listed, the Exhibition Macabre is listed right in there.
All right.
And yeah, I mean, everyone who comes through here likes what they see, and they're, like I said,
It's to die
sometimes-
for.
It's to die for, Janine. You're so punny.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
guess.
All right, when we come back, we're going to go back and talk to some of the characters that we just got to spend some time with, right?
Yep.
Scary.
Are you up for it?
We'll see.
You can do it. This is really, there's only one minute. Oh my God. Thank you, thank you.
No escape!
Come back to me!
Well, I don't know if Janine's going to be able to say any more, yay, because I think she's scared out of her mind. But we've
Yay.
enjoyed going through so far, and
They
we'd like
blow
to.
you, but they don't touch you. I'm
We'd like to
paranoid.
invite everybody to
Seriously.
definitely come here. I know, Janine, you've made some friends.
Yeah.
And Marla behind you, why don't you introduce
Sure.
the cast of characters here, your
Sure.
family?
Part of our cast of characters include Lady Lust,
She was my friend all tour.
Crispy Flesh Eater,
Oh, okay.
Sparks, and Smasher.
Smasher, and he wanted
I like to smash them.
a Smasher.
Ooh.
Now I'll remind you that our characters will not touch you, but that's not to say the house won't reach out.
And that's why we wore white. There's a reason for wearing white.
Yes, there is.
Why don't you tell everybody?
It seems that when a patron wears white in a haunted house, they stick out like a beacon. So if you want a little extra attention, make sure you have a light color on when you're passing through the walls.
That's why the walls are reaching out and touching us, Janine.
We're so lucky.
Anybody who wants to have a really great time, though, if you're intrigued by horror, if you like to celebrate Halloween in a special way, make sure you come here. I'm sure every time you come, you'll have a different experience. Janine, I think you cut the circulation off my arms, so the way you're hanging on to me. How are
It
you
was
doing,
fun.
honey, really?
I can't even ask questions. My head is like
She's petrified, like some of the
it's
things
really
here.
a great experience, and you really have a nice website as well. I did check it out, and if you have time, look it up. You have events going on that don't only include the Hotel of Horror. What else do you have? The flashlight on Friday the 13th.
Yes, and that Lights Out tour runs every Thursday in October except for Halloween night. We celebrate Halloween with the full Haunted House production. And you can also download our free app on the Apple App Store, which is full of all of our characters and our interesting history here at the Lake House Hotel.
Well, I made some great friends. Maybe next year I could be involved in your show.
We would love to entertain you here.
How about it?
I think I'm going to be a part of the cast. I just love it. Halloween is my favorite. So don't miss it. Make sure you get out to the Hotel of Horror. Check it out online, but check it out yourself. Meet these guys.
All right, well, I'm very excited. I've been waiting all season to try out the Pumpkin Masters Carving Party Kit, and we have our own Pumpkin Carving Masters with us. We have Bella, and we have Alyssa, and we have little Debbie.
Little Debbie.
All right, so
I'm
these
so
are our
excited.
kiddos. This is Sammy's little girl, Bella. This is my little girl, Alyssa. Mason was unable to attend because he's a boy and he didn't want to be on the girls.
And he is a pumpkin.
He is a little pumpkin. Okay, so here's what we do. We have the pumpkin carving kit, and it says, you know, we have all of our little ingredients here. We have to pick which picture we want to do. And then we have all of our material. We have gloves to get out the guts, right? We have napkins for cleanup. We have the carving utensils here.
The old-fashioned
and
stuff.
here. So what do you say? I'd like to carve it, carve it. I like to carve it, carve it. I like to carve it, carve it. Let's carve it. This is always my favorite part, the guts. The fun part for kids, I think, is just making a mess.
They're the pumpkin
Provided
seeds.
it's not at your house, it's at someone else's. Like here. And the nice thing about this is, you know, you like to use the pumpkins to make pumpkin pies. I like to bake the seeds.
I like the seeds with all the salt on it too, but the pumpkin pie, that's another show. Did you pick out what you're going to be for Halloween yet? What you're going to dress up as? A sock hopper.
You're gonna be a sock? A dirty sock or a clean
No,
sock?
a sock hopper, right? She's gonna wear. Are you gonna wear a poodle skirt and bobby socks and saddle shoes or sneakers? You're gonna put your hair up. For those watching that know what a sock hop is, you're old.
And Alyssa's gonna be a gangster, but it's really cool. It's gonna be a female gangster.
A female Al Capone.
Yeah. Once we get all the guts out, okay, then we're gonna take our pattern, okay? And what side are you doing yours on, Bella? The front, this part?
Clean side, I would
Okay,
think.
so we're gonna turn this around and we're gonna tape it on here, like so. Okay. So it even shows you. So we're gonna tape that on. Okay, so then
All
we
right.
start, Bella, take your marker. Okay. You have a marker
Get on your
here.
marker. How about
And what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow these dots. So these all need to be colored in. Well, it's time to unveil the finished products. Alyssa's, awesome job, and Bella. You had a spider, very nice. You had a goofy face or
awesome
something.
job, Bella. You
right?
carved that all yourself.
I would definitely do this again, would you?
Yeah, it was fun. Why don't we put the light in now? Let's get our little votives.
So we have our little votive, so you can always.
Well, we pre-lit them only because we
Put
want
this
to not
in.
have a hard time doing it, but blow it out and then you can relight it.
There we go.
There we go.
There
Put
we
the lid
go.
on it.
And if we turn off the lights,